current demand for liquidity risk is high. Why is this?
Well, liquidity risk was in many ways the key risk factor in the recent credit crunch. Liquidity, just very quickly, is basically the ability of a firm to be able to provide itself with funding that it needs to fund its balance sheet, or indeed to be able to sell off assets if it needs to shrink its balance sheet. And it's a combination of those factors that really led to the demise of Lehman Brothers, for example. So liquidity risk is four square really in the middle of a lot of people's thinking at the moment, because it does seem to be the key element, if you like, in the credit crunch, along with, of course, the lending policy basically of banks. So a lot of people are putting a lot of time and effort into understanding what liquidity risk is, and also how it occurs within their own organisations. And indeed, there's a response from the Basel Committee. Basel III will contain provisions with regard to liquidity risk. So liquidity risk itself is very much a topic of the moment, and a lot of people are looking to understand more about it. It's in general, very poorly understood, and I think it's something that really has come into focus with the credit crunch in the last few years.
The credit crunch shows just how damaging a lack of liquidity can be to some of the largest of organisations. What lessons were learned as a result of the credit crisis?
I think the lessons are still being learned as we go forward, but certainly I think for firms like Lehman Brothers, for example, liquidity really was a key factor in their demise. And I think that the understanding of how liquidity risk relates to credit risk and market risk, and how volatility in one market can lead to problems in the other areas, is something that people are really beginning to understand. And as a result of that, a lot of firms are modifying their risk management practices, and they're also looking at more integrated risk, i.e. risk including credit, market, liquidity risk together. This is certainly an area that the Basel Committee are focused on at the moment, and it looks very likely that Basel III will contain specific provisions with regard to the management of liquidity risk, some of which are the direct result really of what happened in the credit crunch.
What are the practical benefits of attending this particular course?
Well, I think the course is quite comprehensive in that it covers the three major areas of liquidity risk. And I think for someone coming to this course, will give them a good understanding of what risk is, what liquidity risk is in particular in those three different areas, and how to measure it, and more importantly, how to manage it. As we look at any kind of risk management cycle, it's about identifying risk, measuring and managing risk. So this course is specifically designed to pick up on those three factors. So it equips people who come to this course with the tools basically to apply the knowledge and techniques that they learn in their own firm. And ultimately that should lead to a safer, better managed firm, which has benefits both from the point of view of the security of the firm, the happiness of their regulators, but also return on capital for the firm itself, because a well-risk managed firm basically is a profitable firm. So I think there are direct practical benefits for coming on this course.